Welcome and welcome back. Come on in the space and get cozy. Kick off your shoes because you have officially landed on the chat back couch with me, your lovely host and self concept homegirl, Coach Esha. And while you're here, I'm keeping you connected to everyday people from around the net doing amazing things. And I'm so glad to have you here. Make sure you drop down in the description box for all the details on today's guest and other ways you can support the channel. All right. Now, neighbors, I got to be real with y'all. I was a little conflicted on how to properly introduce today's guest because I like to think of him as a modern day Renaissance man. I have I have the pleasure of sharing this space with my guy, your guy, our good neighbor, Lord Phly, the creative, visionary, world changer. He reads to children. He's probably out there saving baby turtles. I don't know. I don't know, neighbors. He might be, but I'm going to let him speak for himself officially. So, Lord Phly, go ahead and give us a full introduction. The neighbors want to know more about the man behind the brand, the name. Tell us who you are, what you do, and anything else that you want to share with us today.
Okay. Well, thank you for that intro. Man, I want to meet that person. Whatever you're talking about, I want to meet him. Uh, my name is Lord Phly. I spell that Lordphly. I spell it right. Never get it wrong, just like you never apologize. I spread a message. I'm simply a man with a message. That message is to never apologize for being dope. Dope represents driving out your purpose extraordinarily, expeditiously. But really, never apologize for being who you are. And it's a process. You learn yourself to know yourself so you can be yourself. Time is a luxury. You own it. Don't waste it. Don't allow others to waste it for you. Understand perception. Be in control of it, not controlled by it. And share substance and reasoning with all that you say, all that you do. Cut out the justs, the cuz, the I don't knows. Like, make sure you're doing things for reasoning and you're speaking with some reasoning and some substance so people can feel you, embrace it. And lastly, ask yourself the simple questions of life: who, what, when, where, why, and how. Ask of those around you to ensure you got dope people in your corner. But all in all, you got to ask those questions of yourself before you leave out the house. So, that's who I am. That's what I do. I believe what people see of me and have seen of me is me going through that process of never apologizing for being dope myself. So I'm a messenger. I'm not a preacher. I'm not, the man on top of the mountain screaming down, I'm amongst the people getting to it. I am unique, but I believe we all are. As unique as snowflakes, where together look like snow. But every individual snowflake is his own snowflake. And that's how I view people. So for me, it's about ensuring people embrace that of themselves and utilize that undeniable energy is what I call it to prosper forward. So for me, it's just getting people more in tune, So how I do that is a laundry list of ways, as you so eloquently put. I gotta steal what you said because, man, it's
I'm just saying, from my seat at the table, that's what it looks like to me. And I people watch a bit on social media for my different reasons. Y'all get out my business, but
we
I like
watching.
Right. I like to be very intentional about the people I invite onto the platform because I know there's so many ways to just put anything out here to just be trendy, just be popular, say all the buzz things and that. But I don't desire to fit in with that crowd. And so I love having people on the show who reflect that and who I feel like genuinely have their own lane. You set your own tone, you follow the beat of your own drum, and that's exactly what you preach. And so when it aligns like that, to me, I think that's worth celebrating. I think that's worth talking about and sharing. So yeah, to me, you are a modern day Renaissance man. That's it, period.
Genuinely, and being a big part of that comes from my purpose and what I want to leave on the world when I'm gone. Where it also, it's the nature versus nurture. Like my nature serve my purpose. The nurture is I have been this abstract art piece my whole life, where I believe over time there's become more understanding of it to where it needs to be and what impact it makes. But out the wound, I made impact. Like nothing in my life has been regular. So how it kind of goes now, it's normal for me, but I have understanding of how abstract it looks to other people. And then that even to, how I look, I look how I look, I carry a staff, how I'm dressed is depending on the mood and the feel of what's going on. While at the same time, wherever I am, I'm there to impact. I'm there to inspire. I'm there to innovate. Like that's my purpose. I care about nothing else. I do know how to be in the room while at the same time, I'm not here for no reason, if that makes sense. So
yeah, absolutely. With a name like Lord Phly, you're hard to miss. So it's definitely not a quiet move by any means, energetically at least. And you live up to every, I believe, kind of assumption of the name, if you will. You dress dope, you do dope stuff, you're everywhere. You're everywhere. Every time I look up, you're somewhere doing something. So yeah, I definitely think you live up to the name and the mission. The receipts are quite long. If you guys don't follow Lord Phly on any social media platform, you definitely will get all that information in the description box. But he has receipts to back it up.
And look, it's simple. It's simply my name, people. Lordphly. If you type that into any search box, any search engine, you'll get to me. I promise you that. Like that was again very intentional. Like I'm not social media influencer. I'm not, looking to be anything but myself. Where I
Yeah.
also want the things of me to always have the same, for one, message,
Right.
energy. So whether you got a glimpse of it, a piece of it, or, you was there for the whole thing, like you were able to take away what it really is, and the message and how it is that I exude it. And I pray that no one is like me. I want them to be themselves like I'm myself.
Yeah.
So, it's really big for me to exude whatever energy I have to to make sure
Yeah.
that I leave the room with some impact. Credit
Absolutely.
my voice right now. Last night was an impactful night.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Last night.
yes, ma'am.
We ain't gonna talk about last night,
Nah,
neighbor.
nah, nah.
Uh,
Not
what
too,
happened last night stays in last night.
for
But
sure.
we can today. And by the way, shout out to the women out there. It is Women's Day, if you did not know. So shout out to us and thank you, Lord
Of,
Fly, for being here for Women's Day, kicking
of
it with us.
course.
Ouch.
Of
Okay, well we're
course.
not on the couch today, but usually
Of
we be on
course. I mean, if one thing they know about Phly is uh positivity. Second thing is I love the women. I love women.
the couch.
I believe
Okay.
are who, women are who, I mean, of course, literally how I got here. But then
Right, true.
how, how I got here. It's not that I haven't had men support or I don't have, people I'm close with, guys,
Right.
where I believe women, my uniqueness has, whether it be a challenge, uh, intrigue, or, a true understanding, that's who supported me and,
Yeah.
ensured that I'm able to exist as Lord Fly. So, it being International Women's Day.
Yeah.
Much love to the ladies. Much love to the ladies.
Shout out
We love
to
we love you. I know
yeah.
all the men don't always portray it in the ways that you would like, but no, we
Aw.
nowhere without you. So we appreciate you and we love you.
Thank you, Lord Fly. Shout out to
Come on.
all the women out there who just, wake up and get to it. No matter what your get to it looks like. We appreciate you. You bring us so much that
Yeah,
the list is longer than we can sit up here on YouTube and explain.
for
So
sure.
shout out to all of the women, international and stateside. Shout out to you. So Lord Fly, we're going to shift over into the part of the show that I call Chat Back and Chew.
Okay.
And this is where I give a hearty little soundbite for the neighbors out there of
Okay.
conversation, real connection between myself, you, and the audience listening. And so this month, I've been discussing how self-concept shifting can impact your overall well-being, and that can be, mind, body, energy, or all of the above. But I want to talk specifically how it helps you sustain your self-care, because I noticed that no matter what the success story or breakthrough, the common thing I found was that we all tend to have our own plans for our life. And you probably heard this a million times, but then God is like, watch this, okay? In
Sure.
my usher, watch this, okay? And there's a turn of events and we have this whole other path that has been, opened up for us. So how did, when you had that moment of realization that, okay, this is it, you're in alignment, you understand the assignment, you're ready to go. How did that shift the way that you started maybe putting priority on your self-care, or maybe reframing your self-care at that time? Talk to me about that process.
I like the question. That's
Thank
unique.
you.
When I transitioned, I mean, of course, it was a whole nother name, and for
Mhm.
me, it wasn't becoming another person. In
Okay.
my life, I've had to. Uh, I was taught to not stand out more than you have to.
Mhm.
Like very much color within the lines, I would say,
Yeah.
where I don't believe anything of me is in the lines. But that
Mhm.
was great learning experience for me because it made me pay attention and observe all situations for how to actually do that. So
Right.
transitioning to Lord Fly, which is, epitome of self-awareness, undeniable energy, it was also knowing what my responsibilities were,
Mhm.
to where a part of me kind of let go of not self-care as a whole, but I knew that I would have to be in somewhat on the front line of it.
Yeah.
So I don't need to be so one of the, there's no fear, no worries, no apologies. So there's nothing to be afraid of, there's nothing to be worried about. There's nothing to apologize for. I believe when you're in the front, it's no time to be worried. It's no time to be afraid. And ain't no sorries. We there to get to it. We there to make it happen. It's ugly right here in the trenches, but
Mhm.
it's trenches. That's
Yeah.
why you got people up high. You got people, everybody don't deal and dwell within here. Me, I believe I covered across the board. But, I was taught that you're not able to inspire or impact anybody if you can't meet them where they are. So for
Right.
me, as much as I'm who I am, I'm observant and respectful of all people, and I want
Mhm.
you to be your best self, your most self. So I'm only talking to that person. So then that allows you to bring that energy out. So to circle back around as far as the transition, it ensured that I understood what self care was. So whether I exercise it for myself as much as I should or not, I was ensuring that other people did, because I
Yeah.
believe in totality that's part of embracing the message. then you got to care about yourself. But it's your
Mhm.
morals, principles, and standards for yourself. It's not a set of rules for you to just follow and not quit. It's like, no, these are just the foundational guidelines. So you're gonna be in situations where it give you the tools, but it don't give you the answer. Where
Right.
everybody should be equipped with the tools, but everybody's answer is their own answer. Even though
Mhm.
your answer may look like somebody else's, sound like, almost
Right.
damn near resemble. I mean, we have twins in the world. They
Yeah.
look like, but they're not the same. So
Yeah.
I apply that type of mindset to all things. Like if everything is everything and everything is everything. So to
Mhm.
speak.
And if you know what that means, then you know what that
Yeah.
means.
You know, you don't,
You know,
you'll
you
get it.
know.
If you
And
don't,
so
you'll get it.
you will, exactly. You will get it when it's your time. And it's so two things I want to point out. It's interesting to for me to always hear from a man's perspective how they partake and engage in self-care and their mindset around it, because I know that generally speaking, when you hear self-care, the first thing that comes to mind is not a guy, taking care of himself. Usually it's more catered towards women and those kinds of things. So I think normalizing the conversation around fellas as well, taking care of themselves, considering what a self-care plan even looks like for them and how to develop that. It's always very intriguing to me. So thank you for sharing that
Mm,
perspective
no
for
problem.
the listeners. And the second thing is I wanted to say when I first started doing life coaching, I started as a self-care coach for moms.
Mm,
And something that I noticed in like the groups that I was in when it came to self-care was one of those things of comparing themselves, to other moms, which is, a
mm,
topic that we hear about motherhood all the time.
for sure.
And trying to keep up with what other people were doing for their self-care and what, the TikTok moms were doing and all of that. And so I realized that the other side of that, why a lot of moms were struggling with their self-care was because they didn't see themselves worthy of that kind of rest or that kind of care or attention. And so that's kind of what shifted me into looking more into, well, what is your self concept versus what is your self care plan? Because
Sure.
they tend to go hand in hand. If you
For
feel
sure.
that you don't deserve something, you're not typically going to align with a whole lot of things that are going to put you in position to get what you don't
Sure.
feel like you deserve.
For sure.
So I wanted to point that out when you were talking about, staying true to you and doing your thing. That was one of the saving graces for me when I first got intentional about my self care plans.
And you said it, getting intentional. It's
Yeah.
there's a process and a fine line between instinct and intention,
Hmm.
where we come into this world with certain instincts. Some people go with them, some people go against them, but they're there. I tell people
Hmm.
all the time, there's only two choices in life. It's yes, no, left, right, up, down, over there, over here. It's like, no, the world and the mind will make you believe that subsets of those choices are choices, but you're still really making a choice. That's
Right.
like you can't be in the middle. It's like, and even that's making a choice.
Yeah.
I believe we're in a time where people have a skewed viewing for one of what things are as far as a title, where they also have an emotional attachment to the words or the framework of what that is. And why I say that is when you say mothers, why I laughed is because not even a couple months ago, me and my mom were having a heated discussion. Let's say I love my mom, but
Shout out to Mama
no,
Fly.
of course, but it's also a process for me to be her son.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is also a responsibility of mine, where
Hmm.
those are the responsibilities that I believe I've paid more attention to than outside, which is why I speak to, like, I never about social media, famous, and some people
Yeah.
would think that from what they see, but that's just really me posting all that I do, and that's for
Hmm.
tracking.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so I keep up with it. I'm aware of it, but it's not like I don't even know what the caption's supposed to be for people to. It's like it's the same hashtag. It's like I'm not really worried about it like that. But
Right.
in real life, I have to. I'm in these situations with people that I love near and dear, or that I've never met, where
Hmm.
I have to, for one, stay in a foundation of this is a person, where you realize that people don't see themselves as people within their own lives. They see themselves as the titles that they hold and the responsibilities that come along with them.
Yeah.
And then because those titles are umbrellas that really anybody can wear, it's not anybody is you. That's why, the title is not you. You are the title. It's because you're a
Right.
doctor don't mean all doctors are great. So if that's the
Right.
case, what type of doctor are you? Because you're a mother, all mothers aren't the best. So what type of
Right.
mother are you? So what type of mother are you comes from the person you are, not mother. Yeah, that may have been some framework for you to understand how things are supposed to go, but at some point you started implementing your own decision making into this thing. Like, what if your baby was a crier? Well, you probably picked them up a little more, or you didn't. It's just like being, like you said, intentional about the decision making and how to be
Yeah.
intentional, be informed. And how you inform is to ask yourself those simple questions.
Right.
Not
Being
bring back
self-awareness.
the message, but every situation has a who, what, when, where, why, and how.
Yeah.
Especially every situation you're in. The who is should already be answered.
Yeah.
you,
Only you.
you right there. What, when, where, why, and how. Let's
Yeah.
get into
All
these so we
you.
can, we can be intentional about our decision making and not fall victim to the the detrimental thoughts that come along with comparison.
Mm,
Like it's all right if you understand comparison as a driving force, not as a judgmental source.
yeah.
So now you judging yourself against the word mother,
Hmm.
where you can't be the best mother ever. Why? Because there's no such thing.
Right.
It's a
It's
so
it's a touchy topic because of, like you said, the attachment that comes with those titles.